Now, with the events of Season 11 of The Walking Dead coming to an end, we learn that Ezekiel, Mercer, and Carol are now the new heads of the Commonwealth, and Ezekiel is actually elected as the governor. Now, Pamela Milton is in jail, and with the other spin-offs coming out, with Raise the Dead, with Dead City, and Summit, I actually came up with an idea of a potential Commonwealth show focusing on the events that take place after the end of Season 11. So stay tuned. Now, before we actually get into the video, I'd like to ask you all to like, share, and subscribe. And I've been getting a lot of nice comments from all of you, so I want to say thank you. And now I would like to ask you all to actually subscribe so we could hit that goal of 1,000 subscribers. Thank you. Now let's get into the video. Now, with the main cast of characters having their own spin-offs like Negan, Maggie, Rick, Daryl, and Michonne, it leaves the other side characters like Ezekiel, Carol, Mercer, Gabriel, Aaron, all of these characters that did not die in Season 11, they're all still at the Commonwealth. And with Fear of the Walking Dead coming to an end and potentially Morgan making it to Alexandria, it'd be a very, very good chance for them to make their own Commonwealth spin-off show with all of these characters finally having the spotlight. Now, this actually does make a lot of sense for these characters to get their own spin-off. It's because, again, these characters are very, very beloved, especially Carol and Ezekiel, right? They have a big fan following, and it'd be very cool to see both of them actually lead the Commonwealth and actually get spotlight for once. Now, why do I think this spin-off will happen? I think the spin-off will happen because of the state that we were left in at the end of Season 11, with Pamela Milton being locked up and a lot of loose ends when it comes to the alliances with the Commonwealth. And also, we did not get to see what Designation 2 was, and we also didn't know what Pamela Milton meant when she said B14. So I do think that there's a lot to be explained here, because it seems like that they're setting up a lot here, and it just seems like a lot of unused potential. Now, another integral moment in Season 11, which we did not get any payoff, was Lance Hornsby's death. And I have pointed this out in my past videos that Lance Hornsby did mention to Pamela that if he were to disappear, alliances with the Commonwealth would come after them. And ultimately, I think all of this is a big CRM connection when it comes to Designation 2, when it comes to B14, and just Lance's death in general. I think that all of this will backfire on them, and we will get more insight in this huge CRM connection that, all of this was setting up to, but we just didn't see in Season 11. Now, how do I think that this spin-off is going to play out? I personally think that everything's going to be going good for at least like a year or two in the Commonwealth, and and the Commonwealth will thrive with Ezekiel, Carol, and Mercer in charge. And then they will notice some CRM patterns, like some helicopters and soldiers coming, and then they're really confused, and the CRM will catch them off guard. And this reasoning is because of Lance's death. They're probably going to notice that, Lance is not contacting us, or he's dead somehow. And the way that they could find this out is that Pamela Milton will find a way to contact the CRM, like to radio them in. And because, of course, there are so many people in the Commonwealth, and, some people might still be on her side. So it's very, very possible that she might have some sort of spy or something like that contacts the CRM for her, or brings a radio for her, and she finds a way to contact them. Now, again, Lance's death is no small thing. That is a very huge moment in The Walking Dead, and it's just the start of this whole event, and potentially a CRM invasion or a CRM war. Now, I personally think that this is a very great idea. It's because this gives Ezekiel and Carol the spotlight. And, if Carol's not with Daryl, it's actually really nice to see her with Ezekiel. And, just Ezekiel being in that role of leadership and him being, the main character of this spinoff would actually be very cool to see, because, we want to see Ezekiel more in that leadership role, like how we saw in Season 8 of The Walking Dead, and just to have him make a kingdom too, right? Make the Commonwealth another kingdom, or make Alexandria another kingdom, and just them thriving and all that, and then the CRM pop in. Now I want to see Ezekiel, and how does he deal with the CRM, and especially with his past experience with Negan, this group oppressing them. How would Ezekiel deal with the CRM? Would he let them oppress them? Would he let them take over the Commonwealth? Or would he come up with some type of deal? Or would he try fighting back with the Commonwealth army? And that dynamic would be very cool to see, in my opinion. This would be a perfect way for the group to find out some dark secrets about the Commonwealth, like, the dark secrets and the dark past that the Commonwealth was actually built upon, and what steps were taken to actually make the Commonwealth as big as it was. Now, Designation 2 and B14 are perfect examples, especially Designation 2 is because they actually send people to potentially a CRM base. Now, again, the Commonwealth could have been built upon, people being traded, and that's what we thought when Season 11 was going on, that, all the disappearing people were being sent to the CRM, but, that turned out to be false. That was them being sent to, the camps and labor and all that. But I do think that is still true, that people that are more valuable or smart, and if they break the rules, to be sent to the CRM. And the whole Commonwealth was actually built upon that, people being traded, people being sort of sacrificed like lambs, right? So again, it'd be very cool to have these characters actually figure that out, and what step would they take to change that. Now, do I think that Fear the Walking Dead characters are going to be in the spin-off? I personally do think that Fear the Walking Dead characters are going to be in the spin-off, especially Morgan. It's because they're already making their way to Alexandria, and the timeline of Fear the Walking Dead already caught up to the main Walking Dead timeline. So, Morgan could be in the spin-off, right? And him and Ezekiel working together again, him and Carol working together again. And I think that these characters reuniting is one of the most important character reuniting moments, because as Morgan in Season 8 was more attached to Ezekiel and Carol, Morgan was the one that actually changed Carol and actually made her feel killing is wrong, and, made her feel guilty for all the deaths. Right, so having them reunite, and Morgan being a changed man, and Ezekiel and Carol being changed, it'd be really cool to seeing these characters reuniting, and also seeing Fear characters interacting with the main characters and seeing them actually live in the Commonwealth would be amazing to look at. And also the Fear characters having their experience with the CRM, it would be very nice to see them actually telling Ezekiel about their experiences, and telling Ezekiel and Carol that these people are not to be trusted, and just kill them or fight them back any way you can. Now, when is the spin-off going to take place? I think that the spin-off is going to take place during the events of Dead City, and the other spin-offs is because Dead City is going to be taking place 5 years after the finale of Season 11. And Raise the Dead is of course going to be taking place probably a year or a couple of months after the ending of Season 11. And Summit is the only one where we don't know specifically when it's going to take place, but it's probably going to be taking place around Season 11, Season 10, right? Because Michonne went to look for Rick in Season 10. Now, when it comes to Fear, I think that this is going to be taking place after the finale of Fear, because if the Fear characters are going to be in, of course it's going to be taking place after Season 8 of Fear. And also, there is a possibility that this could take place after the spin-offs, and we could have all of these characters in, and this could be the way for the big crossover and everyone reuniting. But I think that they're going to be saving that for the movie. Now, this spin-off could end with the cliffhanger that the CRM took over the Commonwealth, or they invaded the Commonwealth, and then that's how they could segue into the movie. And also, the spin-off would be a perfect way to put more spotlight on the other characters which didn't have much of a spotlight in The Walking Dead, Gabriel, Aaron, Eugene, and of course Ezekiel, Mercer, and Carol, because I do think that there is much more that they could do with these characters, and putting them in a role of leadership in the Commonwealth would be very interesting to see. And how would they deal with the CRM? It's because they have dealt with groups before, and the biggest group that they've dealt with of course was the Commonwealth. But the CRM are totally different. It's because where the Commonwealth had around 50,000 people, the CRM potentially has around 500,000 people. Now I gotta fact check that, but last I heard the CRM did have 500,000 people in, and multiple bases and stuff like that. So it's kind of hard for them to fight the CRM with only the Commonwealth army. But I would like to see how would they deal with the CRM in this show. And also, I think that this spin-off will make a lot of people happy. It's because our expectations were so high for Season 11 to have some sort of CRM appearance for the Commonwealth and stuff like that. We did get a CRM appearance in season 11, but it wasn't in the way that we thought. It wasn't in the way that, like, oh yeah, we would see a helicopter or some sort of, like, you know, CRM folder in the Commonwealth or lands meeting any CRM soldiers. It was just always like hints and stuff like that, that oh yeah, there is something out there, but you know, they just didn't show it to us. And I think that the spin-off is the perfect chance to show that, and you know, to have our expectations back up. Now, again, there are so many things that are not explained from season 11, and you know, it seemed pretty rushed. Now, I do hope that this spin-off is the good closing point for it. Now, I do think that the spin-off is going to close with the CRM taking over the Commonwealth. It's because they still have to establish how big of a threat the CRM is, and I think the perfect way to establish that is for them to take over the Commonwealth, like how the Commonwealth took over Alexandria and, you know, reshaped it in their image, technically, so to speak. So, you know, it'd be a very cool way for them to show the CRM's true potential by taking over the Commonwealth at the end of the show, and then, you know, going into the movies, like how I mentioned before. They could go into the movies after the spin-off and, you know, actually have these characters reuniting, and then with them fighting back the CRM and, you know, finally taking over the CRM, and then, you know, this whole storyline could end with the characters, like, you know, being the heads of the CRM, you know, and, you know, taking over the CRM at the end of it. Now that's it for today's video, and you know, this video was in my head for a while. I wanted to make a video on a potential Commonwealth spin-off show, and you know, it's not as fleshed out as I wanted it to be, but you know, I just wanted to get the idea out there. Now, other than that, I would like to ask you all to like, share, and subscribe. And you know, I've been getting a lot of nice comments, like how I mentioned at the start of the video. I've been getting a lot of support from a lot of you, and you know, we're getting closer to that 1,000 subscriber goal. So you know, if you guys want to help me reach that goal, please like, share, and subscribe. And you know, I'll be working on a character breakdown because I've done a poll and a lot of you guys really want that, so I'll be working on that right now. Thank you.